The $1 million twinspires.com Grade 2 Louisiana Derby coming up on Saturday at the fairgrounds for the 3-year-olds. Not only $1 million purse on the line, but also 100 points to the winner and basically an automatic bid in the Kentucky Derby 150. Joe Kristufek joined by Kevin Kilroy. We are at Fairgrounds. Kevin, I know you've been pounding the pavement on the backstretch, talking to a lot of people. Full field of 12 entered for the Louisiana Derby, and it should be a sensational race.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be another great one. This series has just brought us some of the best 3-year-olds, across the country, and I'm excited to see who gets these big points. Because, yeah, like you said, you're in if you get this done.
Yeah, basically, if you run second, you're in as well with 50 points going to the runner-up. And a horse, Kevin, that's pretty much already in the Kentucky Derby as Track Phantom. He was the winner of the Gun Runner, the winner of the LeCompte, second in the Risen Star behind Sierra Leone. No disgrace in that. Draws post position number 12 as the morning line favorite for the Louisiana Derby. And this race is a 1 3/16 miles. There's a long run into the first turn. I don't know how much other speed you see in this race.
Well, it's interesting. It just depends on sort of how they choose to go, right? I do think Track Phantom is the commanding speed. He will set the pace, right? With that outside post position, even if they want to go with him, he'll be able to have that advantage and get to the front. But we've got Antiquarian and we've got Hall of Fame on the inside. And it sounds like Triple Espresso will be at Turfway Park. That's what I'm hearing. So you have Hall of Fame on the rail. You've got Steve's. He's got one on the rail, one on the far outside. He doesn't want things to heat up too much, right? But Antiquarian, Todd Pletcher, he's also got Agate Road in there. That's a closer. I think Antiquarian, Johnny Velasquez up, that they're going to be going. They're going to be going hard and trying to hook up with Track Phantom to set up for Agate Road. Not necessarily a rabbit. Antiquarian looked great beating Cornishman last out. But if that's the case, it could set up for some deep runs. Now, that being said, I think Track Phantom wants to go fast. We've seen him handle very, very stout fractions, and we've seen him just not be fazed by it at all. Last race, he got to the lead, had it comfortable, went slow, got nailed at the end, but he did come back on Sierra Leone, which was great to see. I think Track Phantom is a deserving favorite in here.
Track Phantom, 1 of 2 in here for Steve Asmus. And we already know about his proven class, Kevin. He's shown it to us. Hall of Fame, long on talent, short on experience, just 3 lifetime starts, dominant winner 2 races ago, was thrown to the wolves, so to speak, in the Risen Star last out. Didn't have the cleanest of trips and should benefit greatly from the experience.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with Hall of Fame. He does draw poorly. I think it's a tough spot where he could get shuffled back. He could have a lot of horses making traffic and trouble for him early, or he could send again, which maybe is where he wants to be. But he really fell flat there at the in the turning for home. Coming down the stretch, he just didn't show run at all. And he's been looking great in the mornings. The talent's there. Always had a lot of high praise for Hall of Fame, but just hard to trust him if he's going to be a short price. Now, if they let him go at 15-1, I'd say for me 13-1 or higher, I'm a little bit more interested. But there's some question marks. I mean, he has had a consistent pattern of breezing 2 weeks ahead of the race and just a strong gallop that week before. We're seeing that again, not on the work tab this weekend. Everything seems to be great with him, but I'm just not sure if what we're doing with Hall of Fame. I've got a lot more question marks than answers with him, but the talent's there for sure. I think he just might be compromised, and I'm not sure if this is going to be his race to win.
An honest pace would certainly benefit a horse like Catching Freedom, who is going to make his run, likely to get the 1 3/16 miles. Very similar to Angel of Empire, who won the Risen Star last year for Brad Cox and then went on to run 3rd in Kentucky Derby 149. Your thoughts on Catching Freedom?
I like Catching Freedom much more than I want to. When I look at him work out in the mornings, he's not visually stunning, right? He's not a typical, just a professional sort of assassin type that we see from the Cox barn that are just out there and just showing all their muscles and showing all their speed. He's still green, still figuring things out. Now, that being said, he's been game in all 4 races, just 3 in the money finishes, 1 fourth. And he ran well last time. Still, like I said, green, and Brad's talking about it too, that he still needs to figure a couple of things out. But he's showing heart. He's navigating traffic. I do like him as a in the money finisher, right? Now, if he's going to be that short price, there's not much value in that. But with Agate Road, getting to the rail, I think, pretty easy in this spot from that 4 spot with Irad. Flavian up on Catching Freedom. I think he's going to be able to trip out just right ahead of that one on the rail. He likes to be on the rail. That's where he sort of feels most comfortable. It's when he gets out and gets a little bit more in the clearing that he's just sort of shows his greenness a little more. So he could trip out. He could be coming up the rail at the end, save every inch, and make it close there at the end. So I'm interested in him to run a good race for sure.
All right, Kevin. Well, we need to make a top pick, and we'll see if you have a long shot that you're interested in a moment as well. I'm going to go with Anna Marie, who we haven't brought up yet, as my top selection here. He was 5th in the Risen Star, but that was his first race as a 3-year-old. I thought he ran a sneaky good race. And what I liked in him in the mornings since that race is he's shown a little bit of improved speed. He's been working with a horse by the name of Agu. That horse is a good one-turn solid sprinter, and he's been more than holding his own with that horse in the morning. So I expect Anna Marie to maybe be a little bit closer to the early pace than he was in the Risen Star. I like his opportunity to move forward here. He was the impressive winner of the Kentucky Jockey Club as a 2-year-old, and I think the price will be right. 8-1 on the morning line on Anna Marie. Who do you got?
Yeah, Anna Marie seems interesting in here. Should move forward off that last race. My top pick is Common Defense, Kim McPeak's other runner. We got Real Men Violin. We've got Common Defense. We've known Real Men Violin was going to be pointed to this race. It's always been pointed to this race. And he's showing up and he's training well. Common Defense is had been running up in Oaklawn, gets brought back down here and pointed to this race. I think he's the now horse. Last out there, finished second to Timberlake, saved every inch, right? So he had a really great trip on the rail. But he just showed me something through the second stages of the race, putting himself up forward, showing he's got the mind for it, showing his ambitions, showing his natural speed without being asked. And I think he's going to be up closer than he has been in the last few races. Trip out, Brian Hernandez Jr. Just knows this track well, one of our great riders around here. I think he'll offer some value. I think 8-1 on the morning line. I think we'll probably see upwards to 10-1 on Common Defense. If not, well, you know what? I want 8-1, Joe. I think we're seeing 6-1 on the morning light. So I think Mikey D's really seeing it come down from there. But if he's getting bet hard, it's a sign that he's got a lot to show. But I think he's going to be moving forward. Thoroughgraph has him taking that nice little step forward from that last race and pointing to the pattern of seeing his best effort on Saturday.
Got to mention Tuscan Gold quickly here. Chad Brown winning the Risen Star with Sierra Leone. This is his representative. Just 2 career starts, was dominant against a suspect field at Gulfstream last out. Kevin, quickly, any long shot that you want to mention, or any other horse you want to talk about?
Well, I think Real Men Violin, I think they'll definitely sleep on that one. He's been training great. Corey could get a great trip on him in terms of getting down to the rail, and he's been just riding so good. So the talent's there. I think they might just sort of forget about that other McPeak.
I'm in defense for Kevin. I'm going to go with Anna Marie on top in the Louisiana Derby. Some great promotions, as always, at twinspires, including the Profit Boost coming up on Saturday. Don't forget about that. Make sure you opt in at twinspires.com to the Profit Boost and all the great promotions that I have day in and day out. For Kevin Kilroy, I'm Joe Kristufek. Enjoy the Louisiana Derby.